Hello everyone, Wrench here. I'm sitting here in RBR VR. I just wanted to demonstrate a little project I've been working on. I'm calling it Voice to Pacenotes, and the basic idea is it allows us to write pace notes with our voice, because writing pace notes in any other, using any other method in VR is kind of a nightmare. RBR Roadbook does some good things, but I didn't like having to go through the list twice, so do a recce, say what I wanted, open RBR Roadbook, watch the video back, and then manually add all of the things there. So a couple of caveats to begin with. Obviously, firstly, this is very much work in progress. It'll still crash, it'll still corrupt stuff, bad things occasionally happen. Hopefully we can narrow down some of that. And the other thing is, as you can hear, I have a Midwestern American accent, which is the easiest for these kinds of AI systems, specifically using Google, to understand, to get good recognition and not take too long and be accurate in all of the various other aspects to voice recognition. So with those two big caveats out of the way, we'll go ahead and launch the Python script here. So the first thing it's going to ask me is whether or not I want to output the names and numbers of the joysticks I have plugged in, and then it'll ask me, if I do that, it'll ask me which one I want to use. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have default set, but we'll do it anyway. So we can see my Thrustmaster TX racing wheel is joystick 0. I'm going to go ahead and select 0. Now it'll ask me which button I want to use. In this case, it's labeled 9 on the thing itself. However, it's actually button 8. The easiest way to determine that would be to open your USB device settings or your configuration settings, whatever it is. Push the button and see which one lights up. You could also do a joystick key. But we're just going to go ahead and select 8 because I already know that's the right one. Now what it's going to do is it asks me to find the default file for the stage that I'm going to write pace notes for, and that's because it has to have the start and end of track splits and various other things. Those just have to exist. So the easiest way to figure all this out was just to select it from this list. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the default. That's the one it wants me to find. And I'll go ahead and hit OK or open. All right, so now it's going to basically tell me I'm not getting any telemetry data, and it's doing that because I'm not actually on the stage. That doesn't affect anything. It'll just sit there and wait. So now what I can do is get my keyboard out of the way here. All right, and what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and launch the stage. All right, so we had a little whoopsie-doo there. Like I said, still a work in progress, but we're going to go ahead and continue with what we're doing here. So we're sitting at the rally school stage. It's a short stage and relatively just makes the video a little shorter. So we're going to go ahead and we're not going to export the joysticks this time. We'll go ahead and select the default so that it can get the requirements done. Okay, so now it's just ready to accept notes. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to mute the co-driver because I can't access the menu to do it that way, so I'll just turn the volume down so that we don't get confused. And I'm using the default speakers on my VR headset, which is a microphone pickup. So if I say something and then the co-driver says something, it'll try to like write both notes or get confused. So we don't want to deal with that. All right. Left 4.
Left 4.
And what I do there is I just hit the button that I mapped on my that I chose, and then say the thing, and it'll do up to 3 notes at one time. So, like break into left 4. The more you add, the little bit longer it takes to do the validation. So just keep that in mind. So what we're going to do here is into right 4.
Into right 4.
And we'll keep on going. Now, distance calls are not done automatically because sometimes you want them and sometimes you don't. So what we'll do is we'll add a distance. Distance.
Distance.
Now, in this case, I'm not gonna put a call on this bridge because it doesn't really affect the car all that much. forward.
Forward.
Now it'll also, RBR will add into calls automatically if things are close together. So I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit so that I get an into here. Left 6.
Left 6.
Ideally I'd have an and. I haven't gotten and working yet. I'm not sure why. So I'll just do into. It'll be good enough for now. Into right 4.
Into right 4.
Can I add my distance here? Distance.
Distance.
Right 4.
Right 4.
Distance.
Distance.
So I'm not going to call these because you can see them and they're basically just flats. Left 3 uphill.
Left 3 uphill.
Crest.
I'm sorry, I don't think I heard you correctly.
All right, so that's what it says if it can't validate what you said. I just made a weird pronunciation error there, so we'll try it one more time. Crest. Crest.
Crest.
There it goes. All right, so now we're going to do a distance. Distance.
Distance.
Right 4.
Right 4.
Distance.
Distance.
Left 3.
Left 3.
Distance.
Distance.
So I've got a couple of options here. I could, I'd like to do a break call here. So I could say break into right 2. Or I could just say break right 2 and let RBR add the into, because the calls will only be 0.1 meters apart. So we'll just go ahead and do it that way. Break right 2.
Break right 2.
Right. Distance.
Distance.
Right 4.
Right 4.
Distance.
Distance.
All right, so this could be a chicane right entry. But what I'm going to do instead is just a twisty call. Twisty.
Twisty.
Now the bridges ahead, I'd like to say, or forwards, I'd like to say double forward, but at the moment it can be a little wonky. So let's go ahead and try it and see what happens. Double forward.
I'm sorry, I don't think I heard
So
you correctly.
I think the double call comes from a mod that I don't currently have installed. So we'll just do forward. Oop. Clutch pedal's a little weird. Forward.
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 Probably 4. Left 4.
Left 4.
I think I'm gonna do an into. Into right 4. Long.
Into right 4 long.
Distance.
Distance.
Left 4 long.
Left 4 long.
Distance.
Distance.
Right 3.
Right 3.
Into left 3.
Into left 3.
Distance. Might have jumped the gun on that one a little bit. Once it repeats it back, it still takes about a half a second to give you to be ready for the next call. Distance.
Distance.
Forward.
Forward.
Distance.
Distance.
I probably could have done a forward distance there, but it's alright. Right 3.
Right 3.
I don't have the to finish in there yet. Again, it's just because of mods going on. Okay, so now that we've completed our recce, we're going to pop out of VR here. We're going to come back to our little window. We're going to hit Q. I'll hold it for a second. Now it's going to ask us what file name we want to save this to. So I'm going to call this demo. And we'll go ahead. Oh, sorry, demo.ini. I could probably have it automatically do the ini, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so now it's asking me to open a default again because it automatically goes back into the loop. So we're just going to ignore that for now. Hey guys, we're just sitting at the countdown.
3, 2.
I got interrupted there a little bit, so there's a bit of a disconnect there. But we got the demo run done and everything recorded, so we should be good to go. So other than the fact that I'm sitting here for 13 seconds now, let's go ahead and run it.
Left 4. Into right 4.
100.
I'll warn you, I'm extremely out of
4.
practice.
Into left 5. Into right 4.
100.
Right 4.
200.
I haven't really been driving much. I've been coding and just not had time to drive.
Left 3. Uphill.
70.
Crest.
30.
Right 5.
70.
Left 3.
200.
Brake. Into right 2.
100.
Right 4.
50.
Twisty. Forward. 4. Into left 5.
30.
Right 4.
30.
Left 4. Long.
70.
Right 4. Into left 3.
30.
Forward.
30.
Right 3.
Alright, so a very bad run.
Finish.
Like a hilariously bad run. But that demonstrates you can see that the pace notes are working. And there we go. Alright, so that's all that I had for you right now. Hopefully it's an interesting looking project. It definitely needs some more work. But yeah, hopefully I can release it at some point and people will find it useful. That's it.